Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize it was Jesus. He asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you're looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord," and she told them that he had said these things to her. The Gospel of Jesus Christ.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Joe told me I needed to wait, so I'm waiting. The red light's on, so I'm gonna go. The first thing I want to mention is I want to comment on the second reading from Paul to the Romans. The verses of this letter are not part of our lectionary. Our lectionary are the chapters and verses that we read at Mass on Sunday and on weekdays during our liturgical 3-year cycle. So that part of the letter to the Romans is never, ever read at a Mass. You know, in some circles, Paul has the reputation of being kind of anti-woman. But as we heard in the verses we read today, which Terry read to us, Paul warmly mentions women in more than a few of his letters, especially in his greetings. We just never read those verses. Curious, isn't it? This month, we celebrate the Feast of Mary Magdalene. So I thought we'd take a pause from our journey through Luke's Gospel and give Mary Magdalene some well-deserved attention. So I hope you'll just indulge me as I try to give this amazing woman and her important message of transformation a voice. Who is Mary Magdalene? In words of the philosopher Ken Wilber, she's an apostolic leader, a feminine archetype, a flesh and blood human being, a beloved teacher, and a spiritual master. That's not how most of us think of her, though, is it? The church has been able to get away with this denial of the importance of Mary Magdalene because her presence is not reinforced in our liturgy. The way we learn the foundational truths and stories of our faith is through our liturgy. And our liturgy, because of our lectionary, has airbrushed Mary Magdalene out. The lectionary quietly omits many parts of the gospel where Mary Magdalene or other women have any prominent role. The gospel we read today Mary Magdalene's encounter with the risen Christ in the garden is not part of the lectionary for Easter Sunday, or any Sunday for that matter. For most of Christian history, we've skipped over the faithfulness of the women and focused instead on the faithlessness and the Easter morning foot race of the men. Mary Magdalene and the other women were the first witnesses to the resurrection because they remained present for the entire journey, from death until new life, and showed us exactly what is necessary to witness resurrection in our own lives. While Mary Magdalene has often been sentimentalized and sexualized, there has not until recently been the slightest threat of her being venerated in any way. Her humanness makes her so relatable to us all. And now that a new generation of Bible scholarship has corrected the glaring inaccuracies of her portrayal as a prostitute and is slowly laying the groundwork by which she will sooner or later be able to fully reclaim her role as Jesus' spiritual partner and wisdom bearer. What's beginning to present itself to us is an accessible, entirely believable portrait of the one who got it. Magdalene is the icon and archetype of love. Love needed, given, received, and passed on. She's a stand-in for all of us who seek an intimate relationship with the divine. Jesus' appearance to her first and alone is the clear affirmation of the wonderful and astounding message that we do not need to be perfect to be the beloved of Jesus or God. Mary went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord, and this is what he said to me." And it is on the basis of that announcement that Mary earned the traditional title of Apostle to the Apostles, the first to witness the resurrection. She's also the one who commissions the rest of them to go out and announce the good news of the resurrection. All four Gospels portray Mary Magdalene as the premier witness to the resurrection, alone or in a group, but in all cases by name. And given the unreliability of oral history, this unanimous testimony is astounding. It suggests that among the earliest Christian communities, the importance of Mary Magdalene is of the highest order. All four Gospels insist that when the other disciples are fleeing, Mary Magdalene stands firm. She does not run. She does not betray or lie about her commitment. Her witness is clearly the demonstration of the deepest human love, or the highest spiritual understanding of what Jesus was about, or both. So we must wonder, why do the traditional Holy Week liturgies retell the story of Peter's denial, while the steady and unwavering presence of Mary Magdalene is not even noticed or mentioned? How is our understanding of the Paschal mystery changed by this, if her presence through it all was included in the Passion narratives that we read during Holy Week? What if instead of emphasizing that Jesus died alone and rejected, we emphasized and reinforced that one stood by him and did not leave? For surely this story is just as present in the scriptures as the other. How might that change our feelings about those holy days? How would it affect our feelings about ourselves? Our feelings about women's role in the church? About the nature of redemptive love and the importance of that in Jesus' message? And above all, why is the apostle to the apostles not herself an apostle? I love the way the writer of this gospel tells of the encounter between Mary Magdalene and the risen Jesus on Easter morning. Jesus' message to his beloved Mary is not that she squelched or denied her human love for him. It's much more subtle. He just says to her, do not cling to me. He's saying, do not hold on to the past. What you think you need, what you think you deserve. This is about something bigger and better. I'm continually challenged by the choice that Mary Magdalene makes in the garden that morning. Will she try to hold on to what she has known? Or will she accept Christ's call to leave the garden, cross that threshold, and see her Lord not as Jesus, the human being, the teacher, but as the presence of the risen Christ in her heart, and go and proclaim what she has experienced? We know what she chooses. We are here because of what she chooses. She realizes that the presence of Christ will go with her. That living presence of love will be more fierce than her letting go. That love is stronger than death, and that love will endure long beyond the letting go she's been asked to do. Like Mary Magdalene, we face a choice. Will we try to hold on to what we've known? Are we open to seeing things in a different way? Are we willing to let go of what we cling to and cross that same threshold and trust the voice of the living one who calls our name, the one whose resurrected heart we carry within us? The power of the risen Christ. That love beats inside us. And like Mary, we are called to carry that heart into the world. To not only carry the news of his resurrection, but to carry the living presence of the Christ into the world. The Christ whose heart beats in us still. This resurrection story conveys the essence of Christianity's transformative message of steadfast love, the passage from death of self to fullness of life, from egoic alienation to union and wholeness. And its gatekeeper is Mary Magdalene.